Alright, now moving forward from here, we are also going to look at a few more metrics. Let's call this as metrics part 2. Alright, which are also equally important for us to know, and we can always talk about these again in a separate module as well. One is known as CAC, right? Cost for acquiring this client, right? So basically it is your marketing cost, the total marketing cost to acquire client divided by the number of clients that you have attained. That is basically your CAC. Please mind you, if you have not heard about CAC before, just watch any episode of Shark Tank and you will get a little idea of what I'm talking about, because this is one of the key metrics any of the sharks is always asking the the brand, that what is your CAC right now. So just to give an instance, we spoke about say 150 rupees that जो हमने अभी बात की थी, which is your CPC here. So 150 rupees is my marketing cost. That means my advertisement cost right now is 150. Plus if you want to add this, you can also say my salaries plus other expenses, marketing expenses, like manufacturing that the t-shirt is roughly about say 350 more. That means my total spend is around 500, right? And how many have I been able to convert out of this number of customers that I've got is, say, let's say 1. So my CAC is basically nothing but 500 rupees is my CAC. Cost per acquiring a client in this space would definitely be about 500 rupees for me. This is what CAC basically means. So now you can keep this is a simplified version of the same. So now you can keep multiplying this for number of clients or customers you're able to get per day and how much you're spending to get those customers, divide them, right, and you will get your CAC on a daily basis. The other metric which I want to speak about is known as ROAS. ROAS is return on ad spend. ROAS is nothing but return on ad spend. Yeah, so return on ad spend is basically a very simple formula. It is that how much revenue you are able to get, right, from the ad divided by the cost of running the ad, right? And you can change this to something into 100, so you can get a percentage of this. So let's go back to our same example of the t-shirt one. How much is the revenue we generated? 2000. We were able to generate 2000 divided by how much is the cost of the ad. Now we know the cost, it is around 500. So a simple calculation, if you can do into 100. So we can also include this into 100, or you can just leave it. I'll tell you how to leave it in without the percentage also. So if you just do this simple calculation, you can come to know how much is your ROAS. So that means we are making a very cool 400% in returns when it comes to this business. Or you can say it is 4x, right? 400% sounds better, right? So you can say it is either 400% or it is 4x. So generally you'll hear people talking more about in 4x returns. So that's easier for someone to understand that yes, whatever you're spending in today's time, in return you're making 4 times in terms of ROAS, in terms of returns, right? Again, here you'll hear this a lot, in Shark Tank or in investor oriented brands, and you can get a good idea, good clarity about what I'm talking about. These are the metrics that you should be aware of when it comes to. So just one more thing here, your ROAS can be directly related to something in business like we know about, which is known as ROI, return on investment, right? This is an offshoot. ROAS is nothing but an offshoot of your ROI, right? So your ROI can be one of the main data metric that you want to add in your ROI could actually be something which is part of ROAS that you're getting. because please understand what we are talking about is only ROS. This is not the business returns. This is only the ad returns that we are talking about. That's why I specifically mentioned, not, I didn't write revenue divided by cost. I said revenue from the ad divided by cost of the ad. Now again here you can break this down per channel wise as well. That means revenue from Google ads divided by cost that I have spent on Google ads into 100. And you can try to break this down per platform wise. So there are many ways that you can look at getting and collating ROAS from many channels, and make your own judgment on how or which channels are working for you, and how to strategize for the future campaigns or months as well. Now let's move on to a different topic, which is known as understanding customer journey. Understanding customer journey. So there is a very simple mechanism which we use when we want to understand customer journey, and this becomes very important to understand from performance marketing, which is known as IDA. So let's break down IDA. What is IDA? IDA is the first method when it comes to IDA is awareness. What is awareness? Right? Second is going to be interest. Third is D is desire, and the fourth is action. Fourth is action for us. So what is awareness for us here? Awareness basically means that people whom we are able to reach out to, right, who are typically keen on receiving this kind of an ad. That means, for example, if I don't have any children, it doesn't make any sense for me to see ad by the brand Huggies, right? So there is maybe zero or no knowledge. But what if I'm looking for a laundry detergent right now? So the chances of me seeing ads uh, and being aware about a particular brand like say Surf Excel or Ariel is very high. So that is, if they're able to reach out and make me aware that there are brands in this segment whom I can reach out to, talk to, that will basically be the awareness stage for me. The second is interest. Now, once I'm able to reach out to this audience, are they really interested in my product? Are they really showing any interest? There is a keen interest on the product. Like I said, Huggies, nope, not interested. But buying a laundry detergent right now, hell yes, I'm very keen. Now, when I show that keenness in the product, I automatically convert into something which is known as desire, right? I have a high intent of buying this because it is something of a requirement to me. That is why there is a high intent. That is what desire is all about, right? Desire doesn't mean like, I want to buy an Samsung Fold or a very expensive Apple phone. That we are not talking about that kind of a desire, right? That is something which is very common with all of us. We always want the best of the things. We are not talking about that. Here, there is a very keen interest of, purchasing this product or willingness to reach out to this audience. That is what high intent is all about. The last part here is action, where a person actually purchases from you. There is a purchase. Let's go in the past tense here. We have actually purchased from you, right? That is action, right? That also could mean that a person has come up till the add to cart level or at the shipping details level, where you come and add your address details. That is your shipping details level. And the ultimate goal of actually making the payment and getting a confirmation, the thank you page. This can also be a way of saying like they are in the action stage, right? So I just want to share something very quickly here. What I'm trying to make you grasp here is that action doesn't always mean only purchase, right? Yes, that is the desired goal, someone coming and buying from us. It can also mean people coming up till the add to cart, shipping, payment details, etc. Now, let's try to marry two things here which we have been able to grasp so far in this session. One is talking about IDA and the other is bit types. Now, I'm sure by now you will also be able to answer this for me. when I'm in the awareness stage, which kind of these bit types will most likely be part of the awareness stage? So if you're already answering this for me, it would be CPM, CPV. Alright. If they are in the interest stage, it could again be CPM, CPV. That's not a problem. We can always have these coinciding with each other. But just to put an idea here, it is going to be more skewed towards CPC. It's going to be more skewed towards CPC. If it is desire, it will be CPL. It would be CPL, cost per lead. They give us a lead. They fill a form, a simple form. I'm sure you must have done this with maybe seeing an interesting ad on Instagram. You must have swiped up and filled your form by giving your basic details. That is basically showing high intent. And action would be CPA, CPI, cost per install. Actually installing the app and starting to using it. Cost per acquiring, coming up till the payment level or a thank you level, that would be a CPA. So you see how everything starts getting, in a very simpler way married with each other. Now let's try to understand this with a few more examples. Let's go back to writing down IDA. When we are looking at awareness, again here, when we are looking at awareness, the kind of ads that I would be running are more going to be skewed towards display and video. As you can see, CPM, CPV. In the awareness stage, the kind of ads that I will be running is going to be more skewed towards display and video. In interest, it would be more on search ads, which are also known as SERPs, search engine result pages on platforms like Google, Bing, etc. That is what will be added here. Then comes desire. Desire could also mean retargeting us in many forms. The example I gave earlier, where you're looking at having a keen interest in, say, a t-shirt, you add it to the cart or just left it as it is, did not buy it. They start showing you those ads around that again and again. That is your retargeting. At times it can also be annoying, but the conversion there is awesome. Talking about conversion, that is where action comes into picture, where you're looking at again here, talking about search ads or shopping ads to convert the client to be bought from you. Now let's convert this into a simple example so that we are all on the same page. When you come across that there is a new new launch of an iPhone, which is typically happens in September of every year. There is a new launch of an iPhone, right? You are now aware about this thing happening. You are aware. How did they make you aware? Those Apple would do those teaser videos, and we are all engulfed into this, right? So that new launch is making me aware with teasers all around this July, August month that there is something happening. You are interested because you click on it and you check out more about it on the Apple's website. For example, you go to Apple's website and you see about that there is a new Apple iPhone launching 17, 18, etc., whichever name you want to give it to, and you can check up more details about it. The desire is when you go on platforms like Reddit or say Quora and you start checking out pre-reviews or more about the teaser comments or feedback. You start exploring all of these things. This is all getting anyways added as part of your cookies that you are interested. That's why you see retargeting is happening at this level because of the interest that you have. Action is very simple, where it would be brands like Amazon or Flipkart, etc., official partners who will look at coming and sharing this with you with some kind of promotion or discounts, which generally Apple doesn't do, but just giving an example, they do student discounts and everything, but not typically on new launches. So all of this will happen at the action level. So just imagine this one scenario that as a journey, we are all going through, even if you don't want to buy an iPhone or no. Firstly, that we are aware about it. Second is you click and you're inquisitive. You want to know more about the phone, what are the new features, how it's going to look, how many cameras it's going to have, how many GBs it's going to be, all of those things. That data you're getting from Reddit, Quora, etc. And then finally, if you're interested, you have enough kidneys to buy with from, then you can look at Amazon or Flipkart to go ahead and purchase it. That is where the promotions or discounts, they try to lull you to actually buy the product right now with some really, crazy offers and discounts, etc. Now let's understand this in the marketing terms. There is something in the marketing terms which I want to break down IDA with, which is known as funnels. This must be very heard of, especially if you're looking at targeting people. This will help you to start gauging how you can fit in IDA. It's quite simple. So if you found IDA simple, you'll only find this even more simpler. We basically try to break down every single aspect under three groups. One is known as tofu, right, mofu, and bofu, right. They sound like some very interesting mediums of paneer probably, but it's not the case. So tofu is basically known as top of the funnel, right, where we are talking about IDA with A and I. Mofu is, I'm sure by now you are able to guess, which is middle of the funnel. And lastly, this can be, yes, sorry, interest and desire. And bofu is your bottom of the funnel, which is basically your action. So I'll just write action here so that it's clearer. This is awareness. These are both interest, and so on and so forth. Now, why is tofu, mofu, and bofu important for us is in your journey to break down your audience. In today's time, every single aspect that we are trying to promote, it could be a product or it could be a service. You can try to break it down under one of these groups. For example, let's try to understand this. We spoke about earlier about iPhone. Now, iPhone, you will say, sir, everybody knows about iPhone, in the world. Like it's a very popular brand. They don't need any branding. We can just start selling. So it will become very obvious that why not we just move iPhone to bottom of the funnel easily, right? iPhone 18 and just start selling. But this is not the case. If you realize, I gave you some logical steps or ways that even iPhone as a launch is going through this journey from awareness to interest to desire to action. That means it is going through top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. Because every brand today has this, uh, capabilities to target people under for every product under every roof here. For example, let's talk about the easiest one, iPhone 18. When will it be bottom of the funnel? When you are already targeting people who are like Apple fans, or who are known as Apple freaks, or Apple fanboys, etc. You don't need to do much with these kind of people, since it's a legacy brand, been around since 30 plus years now, or 25 years. So everybody knows about Apple products and they rely on these products for their upkeep. So they know that they are going to buy this. So for them, you will only look at action mode with promotion, discounts, launch dates, etc., and convert them. When will we look at middle of the funnel? People who are already eyeing your competitor brands. I don't need to mention who are the competitors here. It could be Samsung or OnePlus, etc. When you're looking at targeting these people, you are basically saying, I want to snatch away people from the competitors because of the kind of features or colors or cameras I'm using, and show more interest and desire in towards me as a brand, that is iPhone 18 here in the middle of the funnel. That is what basically I will be focusing on. Awareness would again here be the teasers and the promos, as they're known even in the entertainment space, like with movies and TV shows. You will create a lot of teasers and promos that something exciting is coming, and they are known to do this very popularly. They are aware how to do this. They make some amazing promos, and it could start like 2 or 3 months even in advance. This is same we can say for a lot of Netflix shows as well, where they know how to create a lot of teas where people are looking forward to the launches. So this is basically where the teasers and the promos come, which is awareness and interest that there is something happening, which is very exciting. Here as well, from an iPhone point of view, we can talk about the newest features or create a little awareness that there is, the new iOS, 16 coming up, and all the features will be added. There could be some new face safety features. There could be something to do with the camera. It could be like 4 cameras, there are 5, or so many things are there. So you're building that awareness here. So this is top of the funnel where people are generally not aware about you. Surprisingly, even in iPhone, I'm sure there are people in some countries or so, people are not aware about iPhone because the selling is not there in terms of availability, for example. So that is where top of the funnel will come into picture. Then the second is middle of the funnel, where you are able to, not necessarily always competitors, but this is just to give you a little heads up how you can look at middle of the funnel audience who are interested, but they're already, maybe engulfed into the competitor brands, and how do you look at, grabbing them away from there. And third is, of course, bottom of the funnel, which is the lowest rung, where there are already people are interested, they're looking forward to the launch dates, they will line up to buy the iPhone from you. This is basically which comes in terms of understanding your audience, like trying to gauge which kind of audience are you looking at in today's time to promote. So what happens generally is you look at all of these aspects. It could be top, middle, or bottom, but at the same time, just because the brand is known, it could be like an Amul or a MRF tires or C8 tires, or it could be say Reliance Jio, which has been around again for almost 2 decades now. So you're not looking at saying like, hey, people know me, I don't need tofu and mofu, let's just jump directly to bofu. It's not always the case, and it should never be the case. You're always going through this logical journey of starting out with promoting to people at the top of the funnel, gradually moving them to share, having common interest with you, which is in the middle, and then finally converting them into buying from you. That is where the bottom of the funnel comes into play. Now let's move on to another marketing term or combination of marketing term that we should be aware of, which is known as owned versus paid versus earned, right? So let's understand this first, and then we'll take the same example of iPhone 18 launch, and then we'll understand. I hope you will get a better clarity of the same. What is owned? Owned is something that we have in our um, segment. For example, you have your own blog, like Apple has their own blog. Say for example, appleblog.com, right? Not very innovative name, but yeah. Then social media platform, you have your own Instagram handle, like Apple will have its own Instagram handle, and so forth. So all of these are basically your owned platforms. So a blog which is called as say applefansblog.com or something, which is your own property, right? Officially. Then social media platform would be again here something which will be say instagram.com/apple. I think this is the official one. Same goes with Facebook, Twitter, etc. What is paid? Paid would be wherever you're looking at spending money, which we have been speaking a lot of, which is through ads via Google ads or Meta ads, etc. This will be basically where we are talking about paid medium. And what is earned? Earned is very interesting, where you're looking at any kind of, say for example, mentions or shares coming to you, right? We are always looking for those people who want to repost us. That would be basically talking about shares, um, or giving us say reviews. This will be basically something which will come under earned media, right? So for example, in Apple's terms, this would be people who are talking about again here on Quora, on Reddit. They are also talking to you on other Q&A platforms, etc. So these would all come under the earned media. People mentioning you. Again, here it could also be something that a person is trending on X, or on generally on Google Trends, etc. So you will see a lot of audience there as well. So for us, something that is in our control is of course paid. This becomes important for us because we are targeting this via performance. We want to have our own channels where we can boost and promote our own audience as to our audience as well. That will be the own. And earned is also equally important because if people are not talking, we will not be able to get capture them through that desire segment, right? So once you're able to capture them through the desire segment, we will be able to have that audience convert from desire to action. So you see, all of these things are actually working hand in hand for us since the time we have been talking about it. Now let's look at a few examples where we can look at how performance marketing is actually performing. And so I'm trying to give you some examples where you would have also come across. Let's say for example, you can also look at push notifications by a brand called Zomato. Very, very popular. You must have come across them as well, especially if you follow them. uh, they will look at not only push notifications but also be focused a lot on influencers talking about them, and also look at retargeting, which we have been speaking about a lot. So this is one way of looking at what Zomato does as a brand. Second is going to be a brand like Nika, who will look at leveraging shopping ads. They are basically very, very popular shopping ads by Google, which they are focusing on, right? So if there is a particular category, or if it's a particular product, like you're specifically looking for a Nike and there is a whole model name to it and you're looking for the shoes, if it is available in Nika, right, there are high chances that you will see an ad by Nika as well on this. So this is how popular they are. Another brand who does this very well is Amazon in this space with shopping ads. Just to give you um, idea into this. And why I'm mentioning Amazon is also because what Amazon can do is you can also be an affiliate partner, which again, talks back to how we were speaking about influencers. So affiliate partner will also be able to grasp like running ads, you know, uh, via the brand through Amazon, and also use their own unique links to get more, customers coming in. So that is the other way of looking at this. Then we can take an example of Meesho as a brand, where Meesho has basically looked at performance-led campaigns through generating leads, which could be leads for more vendors coming, which could be these artisans, especially from tier 1, tier 2 cities. So that could also be one of the aspects for them. The other way that they will look at is installs for the app. That could also be one of the aspects that they are focusing on. Um, and of course, also WhatsApp notifications, which can be said for a lot of brands. I'm just taking this one example for all of us to understand. Um Another one is not a brand that I can think of, but also a whole category like say SaaS products, which are basically known as software as a service, where your focus is to sell your any kind of service. So even like this is a service, like digital marketing is also a service, but the difference here is that it's not a software per se, but if you're building your own AI. Say for example, you're building an AI for image generation, something what ChatGPT does or Midjourney does. So you have your own AI image generation through prompts, and you want to promote this via selling via some subscription model, right? So generally all of them have subscription models. Like for example, even ChatGPT has a subscription model of buying it for like say $20, $25 per month, something like that. So the idea here would be to focus on garnering these people from LinkedIn, moving them to email as then to contacting them via like Calendly or a call, etc., to tell them about your features, and then finally closing that deal. So that would be like, another way of looking at software as a service, how the journeys would go through.